Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt
And I'm
Roast.
Jessica Bun Bun.
We are here with our reaction and review of the first three episodes of All's Fair Season 1. If you are not aware, these episodes are on Hulu. This
Mhm.
is the brand new legal drama from Ryan Murphy with a ton of famous people.
Tons of famous people. Kim Kardashian is the big name that's attached to this. And, people feel one of two ways about her. They either really love her or they really hate her.
Yeah.
For me, I have only ever seen her in one other thing, and that is another Ryan Murphy property, which is American Horror Story Delicate. That season was terrible, but she was not. That role was made perfectly for her. It's my only real sort of jump into the ring with her. So going into this show, I had, pretty even expectations of what to expect from her.
I've been pretty vocal. I'm not the biggest Kardashian fan in the world. Now, at the same time, there are a lot of critics out there, and the reviews of this show have not been favorable for the most part, but they had their mind made up when they saw that Kim was the lead. It's just
Right.
because, in a lot of the greater art community, because of perceptions of reality TV, celebrity culture, or whatnot, there was a lot of, in my opinion, I'm just going to bash this show because I don't like that Kim is the lead and she's higher up billing wise than people like Naomi Watts or Niecy Nash. And I get all of that, but I want to view All's Fair on its own merit, sort of separate from the celebrity culture part.
Yeah, I agree. I think people had their minds made up before they even watched this show. It reminds me a lot of Paris Hilton's last album, which was fire. The album was so good. But because it's Paris Hilton, critics were like, it's terrible, it's awful, it's this, it's whatever. It's not, it's actually fire. And with this show is, listen, it's not going to be for everybody, but you know who this show is for? It's for me. I am totally having a fun time with this show. This show is just ridiculous fun. If you are a fan of shows like Sex and the City or Desperate Housewives, or you even watch like reality shows like, The Real Housewives, that's what this show is.
It's insane. I will say that from the start. There are things I really like about the first few episodes. There are things that
Mhm.
completely drive me crazy. And I
It
think,
is messy
yeah,
drama.
and I'm fine with messy drama. Not everything needs to be Severance, and we don't have to
Yep.
sit around with All's Fair and be like, what's the purpose of the goats? We can just look at it and be like, okay, this show's a little bit lighthearted. I will say the thing that kind of comes to mind for me after watching these three episodes is Scandal, which aired on
Yep.
ABC. Now, the big difference is that show had Kerry Washington, and Kim, I don't think she's as terrible on this as some critics are saying, but she's not Kerry Washington. Very few people are. But I just felt like that show was very much predicated on we're watching these people in this high-end job do these
Yes.
over-the-top ridiculous things. And in that way, All's Fair is the same. Like, this is not meant to be realistic.
Oh, it absolutely isn't. I mean, there are some characters that we've dove deeper into and have a bit more, like, I guess, a connection with, and other ones that are just so unbelievable that I'm just like, this is just a character of a villain that's like, saying things that people just would never say. So if you're coming into this show, kind of keep that in mind while watching it. This is not a Severance. It's
No.
not going to be an Emmy contender by any means, but it is definitely a lot of fun.
Okay, we're going to get into everything. We're going to talk about what worked, what didn't. We'll sort of outline where the show is going to be going from here. But before we dive into any of it, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we will be here throughout All's Fair with reviews. We're going to break everything down. We're all aboard this crazy train. We've already left the station. There's no stopping us.
No, there isn't. This show is too much fun to stop that train. But also, if you want to talk further about the show with us, you can head over to our Patreon. We'll be having more discussions, polls, all kinds of stuff over there. So I'll leave you a link below.
Thank you guys so much for your support over there on Patreon.
So, the basic premise of this show is that you've got these women that have come together to have their all women law firm, and they are only taking on female clients and nobody else. And that's where we are with the show. It's really mostly about divorces.
Yeah, and I will say there's not a lot of shows in this particular genre that look at this subject matter as closely. I've watched a lot of legal dramas over the years. I adore Suits. I will always be a Suits fan from before it was cool. So I was interested in, okay, we've got Ryan Murphy, one of the most prolific producers on the planet. We have kind of an expectation that his shows are going to be big, loud, and ridiculous. We're just going to go ahead and apply this to high-end celebrity
Mhm.
divorces while we're at it.
Okay, so Kim Kardashian is playing one of the lawyers at this firm, and her name is Allura, and her husband is leaving her. He is much younger than her. He has been having an incredible amount of affairs. He's been all over the board with everything, and now he has decided that not only is he leaving her, but the person that's representing him is the person that I guess we'll call her the villain of the season. So, the background on this is that all of these women were working at another law firm that was run by men. There was one female partner that was there, and that was Dina. And we had Allura and, Liberty that was like, okay, you know what? I can't work here anymore. This is enough. We want to go do our own thing. Okay, you can leave and you can pick one person to come with you. And they're like, we're picking Emerald, who is the person who's like an incredible investigator played by Niecy Nash. Then you've got Carr, who's this other attorney that's there. She is not picked and she's very mad about it. And now it's just pure revenge for not getting picked, even though the two women were like, why would we pick you? Every day you come in and eat our lunch and you're not really, that nice to us. Like, why would we bring you on this? But she has now made it her mission to bring down this law firm to the point that not only is she representing Allura's ex-husband, Chase, she has asked for him for half of the law firm, that is what he wants. He wants to leave with half of the firm. And I'm sure he doesn't care about that whatsoever. He is a football player. He doesn't care. This is for Carr.
All right, we're going to have the Carr discussion right here first and foremost, because I adore Sarah Paulson. I will put that part of it out here.
Mm-hmm.
This role, if I'm going to compare it to something else from the Ryan Murphy world, it is attorney Sue Sylvester from Glee, where you watch Jane Lynch on that show and you sit there and you're like, there is no way Sue Sylvester has never been fired from the school from the way that she treats these students. It's completely absurd. It feels like the role was just created so that you could have sound bites that go viral and there's not necessarily that much substance behind it. But there is a very dark part of my heart that really actually did just enjoy watching Sarah Paulson walk into scenes, say horrible things, and then leave. I'm not going to deny myself that.
Yeah, okay, this is the thing. I actually feel like Sarah Paulson's role as Carr and Kim Kardashian's role as Allura should have been switched. That we should have had Kim playing Carr, because I've seen her on Delicate and how mean and she's able to be and play that kind of a character where the things that she says are really biting. And it would have been cool to see Sarah Paulson in this other role. My issue that I'm having with it is that the things that Carr is saying, I don't believe that anybody would be saying them. Not all of them, but there are certain things that she has said that I'm like, this just isn't believable, even for a ridiculous show like this, where I'm like, I don't know about it. But I feel like if Kim Kardashian had said those things, maybe I would buy it a little bit more, but I'm just not buying it. And the problem I'm having over here with Kim is that she is in a role of someone that is very controlled and is not showing emotion. She is, man, this character is going through it with this divorce. Like,
Yes.
It is bad. The things that Chase is doing, terrible. She has embryos with him that he's like, I'm going to hold on to these if you don't give me everything I want. Or at least that's what Carr is doing, holding them hostage. Like, it is awful, the things that are happening to her. But her character is very measured and is keeping everything inside. And I think where Kim Kardashian really shines, or where she has for me, is in roles where she can be just big and ridiculous. And she can't do that in this role.
This is the reality here. Kim's not an actress. Like, she is
This is a hard role.
Yeah, like, she is a reality star turned businesswoman. She's had a lot of success in a lot of different things. I'm not trying to minimize her at all in saying that, but she's not a trained performer in the way that all the rest of this cast is. And I think someone like that is better suited, like you said, to just do something that is big, crazy, kind of fun. It's sort of when you become a host on Saturday Night Live. They're not going to get you to play the straight man part in a lot of sketches or the part that has to hold everybody together for the
Yeah.
sketch. You're going to be the one, to use an analogy directly from this episode, smashing the car windows, because that's just something big and ridiculous that you can go in and have fun with. I agree. I think Kim would be much better in the car role than someone who is front and center here. Now, do I understand why she's front and center?
Of
Sure,
course.
because Ryan wants to promote this show, and everything from, I think, her casting to all of the sound bites that Carr is giving, which just feel like they
Mhm.
were created for the memes. It really just feels like this entire show comes out of some sort of lab where they're trying to figure out the experiment of how can we just make something that gets people talking.
Yeah, and I think people really will be talking because this relationship, especially between Allura and her husband Chase, and how badly it is falling apart, and how many women that he's been with, including the person who is her assistant, Milan, who is pregnant with this child. I'm telling you, this
So
show,
ridiculous.
it is so messy, unbelievably messy. And then on top of it, you now also have this very interesting storyline with Maria. And she is somebody who's like, no, 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 I'm not here for you, Allura. I am going to continue to have this transactional relationship with Chase. But what I want out of it for protection, where I'm not going to go against you, Chase, is I want to have a photo op with you that when you are freshly divorced, I want to be the person that is on the first date with you, and I want it to be photographed. I want to be on page 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And he's like, that's all you want? And because their relationship has been transactional, she then also says, you know what? I'd also like to just see if there's actually something there between us. And he puts his hand on her hand. And it was very interesting to see it play out that way because he is being, of course, painted as a dirtbag because he is, but he is also somebody who's very conflicted about who he is.
And this is where we get a little bit deeper with All's Fair. And this is
Yes.
where there is this surface level, okay, this show is just bonkers, it's superficial, it's never going to be anything more. And I understand that argument, but this character in particular, Chase, it's speaking to something I think that's more interesting that this show and Ryan could really dive into. And it's just this idea of, is All's Fair meant to have us just rooting completely for the attorneys, or is this satirical in the way of a Succession, where you watch Succession, all those characters are basically bad people. None of them are serious people. And yet at the same time, you're compelled to watch them because they're layered. There's good things about them. There's bad things about them. Clearly, there's bad things about Chase. Like, that's abundantly
Yes.
clear. But it would have been very easy for this show to just make him a completely stereotypical dirtbag.
Yeah.
But they do have a little element of humanity here. And there's something to be explored in the idea of, you're a professional athlete that comes with various expectations
Yep.
from your league, from your sponsors, from the people closest to you. What are they going to think when X, Y, and Z reveals comes out? And it's like, are you going to care about that? Like, that is really interesting, meaty discussion that kind of transcends anything else this show is doing.
Yeah, being someone that the public sees one way, but inside he's, another way. He's tortured. He's unable to really just be himself in all his different aspects of life, which is really sad. I mean,
Yes.
this is a really sad character. Then on the other side of this, there's the embryos. Okay, everybody put on your hard hat for
All
this.
right, all right.
What Chase is doing is terrible. He
Yes.
shouldn't be doing this. At the same time, if he is like, we are divorcing and I don't want to have children now. When we were doing this, we were together and we were married and we wanted to do it and I was on board. We are no longer together, so I don't want to do this anymore. If that's how he feels about it, that is fine. That is how he feels about it. He's one half of this. However, what Allura is doing is not okay at all. I don't think that this is okay. I feel that forging his signature to then take these embryos and just go ahead, this is a person. Like, this is a whole bunch of people's lives that are all being changed by this decision. There had to have been another way to work through this so that you were able to get these and everyone was on board so that these kids could have a father that cares.
This is why this show has potential, because you want to dive deeper into somebody here who has done all these questionable things, shall we say, in a lore. Like, why is she the way that she is?
But I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to be a mom and you want to be a
Yeah.
mom pretty bad. So, she's gone through all of this to have that opportunity. And this is the only opportunity she has at this point, and they are already embryos.
She's just a human wrecking ball, and sometimes you're wrecking things that need to be destroyed. And we see that's what some of the women the firm is representing. These
Yeah.
are women who have gone through a lot, and she
Mhm.
goes to really, really extreme lengths sometimes in order to make things happen. Easily, we can say that a lot of that is deserved, but I think
Mhm.
they're also playing around with this morality of how far is too far? Where is the
Yeah.
line? Is we're ever dropping over that line? These are things that they can continue to play around with. I just
Yeah.
hope they kind of maintain a mixture here, because everything with Allura, Milan, Chase, like, this is the heart of All's Fair at this point. We're
Mhm.
watching a streaming show. I don't want it to become too procedural where I'm spending all this time getting invested in a case of the week that I may or may not like at all.
Yeah, I think the thing that's really cool about all of this, because the third episode had a client that was more about revenge. That it turned out that was like, you know what? It doesn't matter how much money I get out of this divorce. It doesn't actually make me feel any better about what has happened to me. And then you've got, the women that are actual attorneys here, like Alura's, like the same thing at this point, where it's kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm cool, I'm collected, I'm doing my best, but I want what I want for me as well. And, she's not doing this out of revenge. She's doing this out of something that she wants for herself. This is her only opportunity to be able to do so. But it's also playing with other people's lives. And I like that it's not just the clients that are wrestling with what's fair, what's just, and what is revenge. It is also the women at the firm.
Let's talk a little bit about the supporting characters here, because I will say
Dina.
Dina's great. Like, there's
Oh my
no
God.
objection that can be had, lawyer pun intended here. Like, Dina has to be one of the best characters on this show. And I also just
By a
think if you're
mile.
Ryan, you're probably just sitting back and being like, yeah, I'm writing or co-writing a lot of these episodes. The parts where I'm getting to write for Glenn Close. I mean, come on, who wouldn't want to write for Glenn Close?
Man, that what she is going through is just heartbreaking, and I think that it's very relatable to so many people out there
Mhm.
that have had loved ones, whether it's family or partners, that have gone through something like what she's going through, where her partner's been going through cancer for years now. They haven't had a relationship in, like, a relationship where they're going to bed together in years. It's, breaking her up inside because she loves him so much, that she has this moment with this auctioneer where she actually goes to his room, kisses him, and is like, nope, this is not actually what I want. I want my husband. Like, I want to be touched and I want to feel something, but only with him. And seeing her go home and be like, hey, this is what happened, and I don't feel great about it. He's like, listen, I get it, and it's okay. And she's like, no, it's not okay. Like, it's not okay because I want to be with you. It's just these moments that they're just so relatable for people who, are caretakers of people that they love, that have been sick a really long time, and the things that you struggle with to make sure that person is cared for, but also you're cared for.
Dina is just that one piece of this show that reminds us that it's supposed to exist in reality, because we have all
Right.
these other scenes of, oh, let me just run to my private jet and magically fly to New York City in the blink of an eye. And there's all these other elements of this show that are so over the top. We actually know a little bit about Dina, about her personal life, about her history in the profession, her struggles with her husband. Like, there's just a lot
Yeah.
more depth that is there with her.
And one of the other things that she mentioned him when they were having this conversation, where she was like, yeah, this is what happened with the auctioneer. I'm not okay with it, but I needed to be honest with you. She has said in this show that for her, real intimacy, the deepest intimacy is honesty, whether it's good, bad, ugly, no matter what it is, that is something that you only get with like a small handful of people in life. So when Dougie goes to the doctor and the doctor's basically like, no more trials, no more anything, it's just done. He is not having that conversation with Dina where he's like, I know I need to tell her, but no.
He just doesn't want to. I don't think he wants to be seen that way. He wants to treasure whatever memories that are left.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers here for Criminal Minds, but we had this big discussion and debate for a long time about Will and what they were doing
Yep.
with Will, and was he telling JJ all the medical information. This is something that I believe does happen in life, where you do want a certain part of your legacy to
Mm-hmm.
be intact in the way you're kind of imagining it in your brain. And
Yeah.
Doug's just been through a lot already. And this is TV though, right? Like TV, secrets always come out. Like this is going to be revealed at some point this season. I hope it's not something that causes this marriage to just fall apart, because I don't need all of All's Fair to be, let's just watch all of our main characters get divorced. Can we at least have one shred of realism here?
Yeah, I mean, we do have some other supporting characters like Emerald, who has her three sons, seemingly not really in a relationship that they've revealed right
Yeah.
now. And then you have Liberty, who is got this great guy, Reggie, who wants to marry her, proposes, she runs out. It's because she is in the profession that she's in. She's just like very jaded about it. But I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat.
All right.
I think that Reggie's going to turn out to be a very, very bad man.
I would be okay with that, just because it would be fun to sort of see, I don't know, a different sort of Wicked perhaps than what we're seeing from some of the other guys, just because, you know, he doesn't look like someone like Chase, where we see an athlete, we're all going to make sort of assumptions about their personality or what they're going to be used for. I think
Yeah.
there's a lot more that could be dove into here that would be a little bit surprising.
Yeah, I think if she's just having this great relationship and everything's going great, that for a show like this kind of doesn't really fit in when we
No.
already have that going on with Dina and Dougie, even though they have a complication in their relationship. It just feels like Reggie's too good to be true, that even all the ladies are like, he's the one, he
Yeah.
is great, he is perfect. I'm like, is he something doesn't feel right then.
It's just also that Naomi Watts doesn't need this show. And what I mean by that is she's on board because there's material for her. And
Yes.
that probably means that things are going to go bad sooner rather than later. I have one thing to say here, though, about Niecy Nash, which is just, I'm a little distracted watching her, only because where is Grotesquerie? I am still so mad. That show is so good.
So
Like, she was phenomenal in it.
I love her.
It felt like it was a slam dunk to come back. And here we are. Niecy's went and filmed another season of an entirely different show. There's no news on the future there. I think Emerald is interesting enough, but it
Yeah.
feels like she's just been kind of an exposition character so far, where other than seeing her triplets, it's just been, oh, look what I found. I did my job. I got this information. Now let's just going to let these other characters run with it.
Yeah, I need more backstory on Emerald, and I actually need a lot more on Carr. Like the idea that she was just upset that these two women didn't bring her when they didn't really have a relationship to move into this next firm. And she's like, I'm just going to spend the next 10 years burning your world to the ground. Over what? You guys didn't really have a relationship. I don't get it. I having a very hard time buying into this character. I don't know anything really about her background. She's just mean as a snake to be mean. And I know that there are people like that, but it's not always that exciting to watch when it's just like, oh, here's Carr to be mean again. They need to do something else with her character, and it kills me to say that.
The only bit of insight they've given us is just saying, oh, Carr, you don't have the best interpersonal skills. Well, guess what? I don't have the best interpersonal skills, but that does not mean that I am going to run and say some of the things that Carr is saying to other people. It is just so completely insane.
She feels like she is an internet troll, that she is behind a keyboard
Yes.
saying the things that you would never say to somebody's face. That is what she is. She's a living, breathing internet troll. And it's hard to believe that that's a person.
So the best moments of All's Fair through 3 episodes are to me just the two-hander scenes where we're getting to see a couple of really great actors cook and bounce off each other. The
Mhm.
worst part of this show, and I'm gonna go ahead and put on a hard hat for this as well,
Oh,
the scenes where they're all together in the room and they're just like talking and being like, look what I did as investigator. No, look what I did. This is not Blue Bloods. I don't need a family dinner with the entire cast of All's Fair in this conference room every week because the writing on it's just not good. It always ends up in some sort of corny one-liner where they all celebrate each other. And I'm just like, nobody talks like this. Nobody is just going to get into a room together and like recount their days as though they don't understand what each other's jobs is. And then you end it with some sort of like, oh, look how smart I am phrase, and everybody applauds you for it.
I would like to also see them have some losses. Like, I know we're
Mhm.
pretty early on, and some of the wins have been like so good. Judith
Yes.
Light, gosh, I love her. I could eat her up anytime she's part of anything. As soon as I found out she was part of the show, I'm like, we're covering it. I
Yeah.
don't care what it's about. Oh, it's a legal drama. It doesn't matter to me. Judith Light is in it. I am seated. And she is fantastic in this. And it was really cool to see the way that Liberty pulled all that together for her to
Yeah.
get her jewels together, get her out of that relationship. I mean, she's amazing. I need to see some losses, and it can't just be personal losses where I'm
Mhm.
seeing what's going on with Allura. I need to see that these lawyers are good and that they get lots of the job done, but that there are also losses. They can't be just clever all the time.
Yeah, I need to see some losses and I need to just see everybody let go and just be willing to be as crazy as humanly possible because that is the show that you signed up for here.
Yes.
And we hope you guys are signing up for the rest of this season. But we do want to know from you, what do you guys think about these first 3 episodes of All's Fair? Are you going to continue to watch? Is there a specific cast member you're liking? Let us know. Hit that subscribe button and support us further by joining our Patreon. We have a link in the description for that. Thank you so much for your support, and we will see you here next time.